dude.
Hey guys, welcome to Craft Ed tonight. And we've got the super Doc Ant and Whip right there.
It's
Hey,
Docant. Ducant. That's my name, Ducant.
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 The Ducant and the Whip. And the Skip has computer problems.
Yep.
I don't know. He's probably going to give up, but just in case, I'll try to keep an eye open for him just in case he does show up.
So
you know what?
I'm the bad skipper substitute. So
yeah, well, not bad.
yeah.
I'm going to pop this on the other side.
So Xanadude's here, Toonie's here, Benjamin's here, Cece's here. You go ahead and do what you got to do. Weiwei's here. Scotty the fish freak is here.
To people.
Bun Bun's here. Cheryl Smith is here. Nancy B in Tennessee. John Cox. Well, I haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, Mr. Cox.
Yeah.
Sam Scales, Mr. Artist himself.
Yeah, did Sammy sneak in? I didn't see him. Scuba Steve is here. Jorge's here. Oh, yeah, there's Sam. Hey, Sam, what's going on?
There he is.
Denny, hello. Vinovsky's here. And let's see if I missed anybody up top. Sean Chadwick, Seville Steve.
Sean normally comes in early and watches later.
Hola, Sevilla.
Larry D's here. And I think I might have got to the top. So that should be everybody unless somebody new has come in. Stephen P. TK Tropicals.
And Awesome Dennis. Well, so this week I got a short sent to me from Killer Kitty, and she said, "Is this legit?" And it was about somebody using hydroponics to grow garlic in their fish tank. And I watched it, and I told her what I thought was real and what's not real. And what this is I'm not going to show the short because that's how I got in trouble to begin with my own stuff. So, but I am going to show a photo of the short. Let's see if I can find my photos. There it is. See, they're floating little things with a bunch of garlic, and they were saying all the benefits of garlic. And garlic has a ton of benefits. I feed garlic to my fish once a month. Dr. Anthony, do you ever feed garlic to your fish?
Yeah, they have to get used to it. I find with my discus, even when I mix it in food, it takes them a long time to really go after it.
Well, I've got one group of guppies that hate it. I don't know if fish can taste.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? 1 momento?
Yeah.
How? To answer the question, I know you haven't asked me yet, but I'm going to answer it anyway. No, I haven't. I've never done it. And second, how? Do you just get powdered garlic and sprinkle it in there? What do you? I don't understand how it happens.
You take a clove.
You crush it up.
Yeah. You take a clove and you take all that dry crap off of it, like you're peeling an onion, and then you're going to have like I don't want to say oily, but a juicy the meat, and it's like a yellowish white meat, and then you chop it all up and you mince it all up, and then you can drop it right in like goldfish. You can drop it right in. The goldfish will eat it, but otherwise, I'll put some dry food with it and drop it in and see what happens. But I've noticed I've got one tank that the garlic just kind of floats to the bottom and sits at the bottom of this one guppy tank. And it's like normally guppies devour anything, but for some reason, they won't eat it. And Dr. Anthony, do fish have, they have tongues? Do they taste?
Oh yeah, they have taste buds. Yeah, they like on catfish, the barbels, that they're actually tasting the water or the sand to see if it's something good to eat. And so most fish have nasal openings, nares, that is used in olfaction, for taste of, for taste or for smell, which is for us keyed into the same thing.
Hey,
So
Mike.
the fish that won't eat these, they probably smell it and it just goes right. I don't even drop it in anymore. I've just done it a
So
few times. But
what's
yeah.
his? John Cox said. I think it was no. It was Sam. It was Sam said that it's actually not very palatable to fish, even though it's used as a stimulant to
Yeah.
get them to eat. Is
Yeah.
that?
Well,
See, I didn't know that either. Oh, there it is. I had scrolled up too far.
Yeah, you can use just the oils from the garlic, and that's where you're really getting all the benefits from. But the problem with garlic itself is that the useful chemicals dissipate very rapidly. If you leave a garlic clove out crust, for a couple hours, that's really not going to be useful anymore. You freeze it, it's another story.
if you cook it, it's worthless too.
Yeah. No, it's not worthless. It's even better. It's
Jim's
yummy.
fish
Well,
is in.
well, yeah, but it takes the good properties out of it that you want to get into your fish.
Yep.
And it's called Allison is the
Yep.
Zenny.
in it, but it's not spelled like Allison. And I might be mispronouncing it. It's Allicin.
Elysian.
Elysian? Holy cow, I was way off on that.
Elysian.
Well, that's the stuff, but they say that it's like antifungal, antibacteria, and even antivirus.
And anti-parasitical too.
Yeah,
Intestinal
I knew it had a
parasites.
lot of good,
but
a lot of good. My brain is broken. It had some
Benefit.
good stuff, that it did good things. I just
Yeah.
couldn't remember what exactly it all
Well,
did. So
it also promotes fish to be more hungry. It makes them more
that's what
hungry.
Sam was
It
saying. Even though it's not very good, it does.
cleans their
It's weird.
guts and they'll eat more. So if you have a sick fish, it's not eating. You feed
Oh,
them some garlic and they'll get some nutrition into their body, not necessarily just the garlic, but whatever else they're going to help them get them eating. Because a sick fish will just sit there and not eat and just sit there until it dies almost, so, or it does die. But, and then and John Cox might know this one. I've talked to a lot of different heavy guppy breeders for the years, and I've gotten some tricks for different types of color like brighteners and stimulants to try to make their colors more vibrant and stuff. And I read that garlic, some people believe garlic is a color enhancer. I don't know. So I'm not going to, but I was wondering, have you guys or John Cox is a master guppy breeder, so he might know too.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Texted him.
so
Okay, well,
Lumi said her fish mentor made her add minced garlic to all her tanks. And Kitty asked how often she does it, and she said honestly she doesn't do it as often as she should, or that they wanted. What is the? I mean, is it something that? I mean, obviously you don't have to do it because I haven't done it in 40 years. But
well,
what is
some
the
foods have it.
recommendation?
I was like reading
Hey,
around and I
Jody.
said, all right, I heard that, some foods have it and all the time, but we don't know how much it's really even if they cook it, or what they're doing. It may just be
Right.
an ingredient that's not doing anything. But if you're doing it yourself, I've read no more than 3 times a week because too much garlic can be actually harmful too. So that's why I just do it once a week.
So you do
And
it at once a week. That seems like a lot. Hey, Cheryl.
well, if you're doing brine shrimp and everything else, it's just one more thing just to kind of chop up and grind up.
Oh,
So,
I mean, just for the fish themselves. Like too much medication. I mean, I know it's natural and all that, but I try not to get crazy with the meds because then they're not as effective when you need them to be.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is it, Dr. Anthony, would this be considered a medication or more like
Well,
just a vitamin?
it's a natural medication.
So can you get an immune to natural
No, I don't think
medications?
you can. Most people say do it prophylactically if it will help prevent problems, so it's once every 2 or 3 weeks, I think would actually be fine for most situations, unless you're bringing in lots of fish.
Renium is here, and Jeremy from Aquarium Domain is here. You heard garlic can be
Aphrodisiac.
that's what it says for some fish.
Q Berry White.
Oh, chicka bow wow.
Hey, George.
George is
Or
here
is it
from Aqua Balls.
No,
brown chicken, brown cow?
Yeah, right. Exactly right. See, even John would say too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with a lot of stuff. I don't like to overdo one thing. Other than food,
Well,
because I just don't know.
if you've got fancy snails, I don't put it in any of my snails that I like tanks, because I read that snails also don't like it. So, but shrimp have no problem with it.
Don't like it or don't
Planaria, unfortunately,
or
have no problem with it. It doesn't help with planaria.
When you say don't like, is it toxic to them?
Well, they just won't eat it. I
okay.
don't know. I didn't deep dive into it. It was just one of those things where I was saying things that do and don'ts, and I was like, okay, that's a don't. So I want to make. I only have 3 tanks that I have snails that I like in them. So I want to make sure those snails are super happy, and I drop them like algae wafers and things like that into that tank. But yep.
Alishon says that
one thing.
vampire tetras don't like it.
Oh, okay.
I'll take his word for that.
Yeah. Now, are vampire tetras bucktooth tetras and
no,
not
I don't think they're the same.
Exodon. The bucktooth are Exodon. Vampires are
those are nasty.
Another. They get big.
Hey, Holly.
they're a big guy.
Yeah,
that's cool.
The other Holly.
Well, I bought today 4 of these for $5.
Oh, stop
and
it!
I what I do like about them is, what I was telling Kitty is I don't think any of
Too much for that
these
joke.
bonuses are going to be going into your water, except for the root. And I was talking a little bit with Dr. Anthony beforehand, was like, this is a fibrous root, so it's like a whole bunch of roots.
I'm an idiot. We're all idiots.
What?
I got it. Yeah,
I get it now.
Vampire tetras don't like them. Vampires.
God, we're so sick.
Oh my gosh. Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
What did I miss?
Yeah, if it was closer to Halloween, I could have probably made 2 and 2.
and then Cece had to spell it out for us, basically.
Yeah.
And I even have Nosferatu right next to me. He's afraid because he sees the garlic on the ground.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you, but I was like, oh man, that's bad.
No, it's cool. But what I was like telling Holly, Killer Kitty, was that I don't think that a lot of benefits will be oozing out into the water. The only thing that I could see that the fish would be able to get from the root structure would be the hair roots. And they're like the little follicles. I don't know if we can. I was trying to find something that we could see the follicles, but I just couldn't find it. But there's like these little bitty hairs all over it, and the fish might nip at those. But what I do like is it's a great place for fry to live. You know, I mean those uh guppies and mollies and are all like right in there, so they're probably searching for the fry in them. But I I've never done this before. The aquaponics with these. Have you ever
I've
aquaponics?
seen them. I've seen people do it. I have never personally done it.
Well,
You've probably done it,
I'm,
Dr. Awesome, because you've
Well,
done everything.
no, I've done everything. But one of the hard things about plants that like bulb plants in a hydroponic system is you have a limited amount of space in a lot of hydroponic systems, aquaponic systems. So like radishes don't do well in many hydroponic aquaponic systems unless they're in like a gravel bed, the clay ball bed where they can spread out. Because in a lot of hydroponic systems, you're using those same plant pots that you see for aquarium plants. And there's some fibrous in there, and then the roots go through into the water, and that's where the roots are going to go. So anything that has a bulb will be limited in the size it can grow. Because
check
garlic,
this out.
all you see above ground is the garlic shoots. And if you ever grown garlic shoots are really good. They're better than green onions, the Chinese onions, so to speak.
What is he
Yeah, I
doing
mean
now?
that will work because it's it'll allow that clove to send out roots below it.
That's what I was thinking.
Is he frozen
Now,
or is not?
I
Okay.
oh my, I don't know what's going on with StreamYards lately, but it's been messing with me.
Yeah, because
Like
Doc is okay, and I didn't see myself getting squirrely, but you were definitely locked up for a minute.
my
Wendy
StreamYard's saying
came
it's only
in, and
receiving 1 bar.
Kenny
Kenny
E
E.
is here.
Hey, Danny King.
So I've already put one in just to see if it would float. And the
And did it?
problem with it, and I thought what I would do is I took the water down an inch in this tank today. So that way they could grow a little bit in here and we could watch them grow over the next couple weeks. And then when they get too big, I'll take them into the fish room where I just have shop lights over the tanks. But the problem though is this water, you can see it coming down,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're probably
and that
drowning.
water, the water's going to be on top of it. I mean, it's managed. The one thing has found a spot right in the middle to avoid them, or for the
The
flow.
turbulence are keeping it stable.
Yeah, I tried cutting this one a real thin. I think I'm going to do it a little thicker. I don't like how thin that one came out. But I
Toonie
want to do
says,
4.
Toonie Loon has a question. How big a tank would you need to make aquaponics garden of sorts? Is that something that jumped something that could
Wait,
be accomplished in a 10-gallon, or would a larger tank be better?
Well, with larger
you
tank would
could.
be better, but you can buy systems in a 10-gallon
Eric,
tank.
why rock?
You're not going to be able to grow massive amounts of plants. Maybe 3 or 4 heads of lettuce.
Yeah.
But yeah, the larger tank. Remember, you're going to need lots of light because these are going to be plants that are growing, above
It,
the water. So it's
basically,
going to have to be good quality light.
the yield will be
Uh,
dependent on the size of the tank. I mean,
Yeah.
if the bigger the tank, the more the yield. So
Yeah, one year in my aquaculture class, they actually, we had an aquaponic system in our greenhouse, but I also had the students do 10-gallon aquaponics tanks in the classroom too, and they had to decide what plants to grow and see which ones would do well, which ones wouldn't do well.
So Dee Dee
but
says, I took my pothos out of the aquarium. I added a plastic tote above the tank sump, and the pothos are in there now. It eliminated the roots growing everywhere in the tank.
Oh,
but
but I
it's
love
still,
that.
yeah,
I
that's a good
love the
idea.
roots. Yeah, the
Oh
roots.
yeah,
The roots look so natural in an aquarium. I mean, that's why I like
Yeah.
to grow pothos and other things in my tanks.
Well,
I
and
had beautiful long. I mean, they were probably close to 3 foot, 2.5 anyway, 3 foot roots in
Mhm.
my arowana with my arowana. Arowana didn't give a rat's butt.
Yeah.
I put in a couple silver dollars.
Oh,
They
they
ate those.
loved it, didn't they? Yeah,
They
they
ate
love
it
those
right up to
roots.
the surface of
Yeah.
the. Laura Zora came into town.
well, I actually
Eric,
for
June.
Eric White Rock.
hydroponics,
Hi, June.
for me for the hydroponics, it's more about the root structure that they create. You
Yeah.
know, I don't care too much about eating whatever I'm growing in there. And then I also like that they're natural filters. So they're going to
Mm.
be taking the bad stuff out. But one thing about garlic that a lot of people don't realize is it's a plant that requires winter and it likes to be cold for 2 to 4 months of the year, like 45 degrees or colder.
I
So I'm
didn't know
going to
that
put
either.
this group in here, and if they don't sprout, I'm going to also put one in the refrigerator for 8 weeks, and then I'll pull it out and we'll try that to see if those sprout. If these
Do you
don't,
need me to set a reminder on my phone
Yeah.
to check it?
that'd be awesome.
What
So
I what
Killer
I
says, go ahead.
no, what I do a lot of times is when I buy garlic, I find the garlic in the stores that have actually have the green has started to sprout. It started to to come the green leaves, and then I plant that in my garden, and I just use the green tops like chives.
So they've already wintered.
I guess, yeah. Don't ask me.
Well, there's two types of garlics also. There's a there was oh gosh, there was well, I mean, there's a lot of different types of garlic, but there's like two like big groups, and it depends on their stock. At the top is one's
Hmm.
called a soft stock, one's called a hard stock, I think. And the soft stock is what they recommend, like in California, because it's a lighter winter. And then the hard stock is the ones that need the harder winter. But I have no idea what I've got here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, I was hoping for a bigger garlic. Honestly, this was the biggest garlic I could find in the grocery store. They were all pretty small
Maybe you should have
today.
bought elephant garlic.
Elephant garlic.
I don't think garlic is a huge thing in the South. We don't have enough Italians.
Oh,
All right.
Now,
So
and it,
Kitty says, I saw sweet potatoes can also be grown in a fish tank, but I
yeah.
think that has man, my brain just stopped again. But I think that has to be decorative, right? You don't want to
yeah,
eat that, do
the
you?
Yeah, yeah. That
but
you won't get new sweet potatoes, but yeah, sweet potatoes give massive amounts of root.
but they
Yeah,
eventually rot. That's the bad
yeah,
thing. But
Oh,
they're also
really?
and it's a giant white one. I've done them before. It's a giant white root,
yeah.
and your guppies will be able to hide and stuff, and it's really cool. And
Why does
like
it
I
rot?
think if you
Does
were
it just run out of juice?
No, the sweet potato itself just becomes soft and
Even though it's
not,
pulling in nutrients and everything? That's weird.
yeah,
I
because
guess.
it doesn't. It's not going to want because you're going to have to put part of the sweet potato underwater, and
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah.
that's it's not made for being underwater.
Right. So Cece says, I come from a background in botany, horticulture,
ooh,
horticulture. In aquaponics, the plant needs a ton of nutrients in the water. So for a full setup, you'd probably have to supplement 1 to 2 would be probably be fine. 1 to 2 would be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
well,
Especially if you're going to try to do some rooting plants, fruiting plants. For fruiting plants, you're going to in aqua or hydroponics when you use fish and stuff, you're going to have to supplement it with other nutrients for it to really fruit well.
Will the easy green though be help?
Probably. I just have to look if it has enough of the fruity nutrients.
So what I'm doing is I'm making they're going to be on a little raft.
How are you cutting those? Just with scissors, or you got a knife, or what do you got going on there?
Are you on?
Yeah.
Oh, you just got a steak knife.
It's okay, but I'll
Yeah,
put
just a
the-
steak knife. Well, okay. Personal story. We've been
Uh-oh, here we
waiting to
go.
get these new doors to the sunroom for now 6 months. They were supposed to come today. And like half my tools are in the sunroom. Cuz like the last time I was in the sunroom was right before the clash. And I was making all my stuff. And then I left the clash and the door broke. I haven't been in the sunroom for months, for 6 months. Well, no, that's not true. I've gone in there twice, but you have to go all the way around the house and up the stairs to get there. But the Lowe's people keep canceling on it. They canceled today, and they said they'll be there next month. So I've got a friend, and I'm not going to mention her name because I don't want to get her in trouble in case Lowe's other people are watching. But she gave me a number to call to complain.
And did
Well, I'm
you?
going to call and complain.
Yeah, you are going to.
Well,
That is
I
my
wasn't going
recommendation
to
as
when I
well.
found out they were coming today. I decided, well, let's just let them do it today. And then they said it was too cold. It's like 30 degrees. That's like short or t-shirt weather. It was nice and sunny. It was ridiculous. Just because they cancel school doesn't mean you have to cancel your job.
So Toonie wants to know if you wanted to eat what you grow. I imagine you'd have to be careful with meds in the tank. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I told. That's what I told Kitty when I saw them growing the garlic. I'm like, I wouldn't eat it, but I know it does some good stuff. So I'm sure Ed told her much more in-depth information. But I was like, I've seen it grown. I've seen people do the hydroponics in a fish tank, but I don't know
Well,
that I would eat anything that you grow in there just because of that.
yeah, honestly, I wasn't thinking she was talking about eating the garlic. I thought she was talking about just growing it to grow it. So my bad there. But uh oh my gosh, these things keep popping loose. Uh but I mean you could feed your fish the garlic, you know? And I want real quick, I want to say hi to my Uncle Bruce. I love you, Uncle Bruce.
Hi, Uncle Bruce.
Hi, Uncle Bruce.
Xanadu says, "Dang it, Lowe's."
I just lost one of my garlics. I guess I should have made this little thing with all the floaters first.
Scuba Steve wants to know if you make a sunroom, make the sunroom your fish room. You think algae will be a problem? I would say probably.
Well, the
Just
sunroom
based on
isn't
my
one of my
very
rooms.
limited, on my limited experience with putting a fish tank on my deck, it turned into a nightmare. So
My sunroom isn't my sunroom, it's my mom's. I couldn't do crafts in here because my light
the
was
light
out
was out.
forever.
Yeah.
The light got fixed and then the sunroom's door got broke. But the sunroom is part of my mom and dad's house, not mine, so I can't turn that into a fish room.
So Paul wants to know, is your package still sitting on your desk?
You know what? I keep forgetting to ask my mom where she put it.
Oh no.
Because honestly, I had it out there
Blame your mom.
and she moved it. And I keep forgetting to ask her where.
Yeah, you need to find out where that is. I don't even see him. Where is he at?
He came in.
Poor Paul.
Poor Paul. I
He
must have
came all the
skipped
way
right
to
over
Charlotte to get his T-shirt, and I didn't know he was going to be at Charlotte or in Charlotte. His
But he was.
friend
Yeah,
was
I
an
don't see him.
both of his friends were excellent at
What Aquazone is here?
escaping. Aqua's
You want to
Aqua Falls
acknowledge
is here
that.
too.
Otherwise, you might burn in a fireball. There he is. Ed, mom gets blamed for everything.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah.
That's and then
Well, it's my
Aquaball's
fault for
George
leaving it
says I
on.
almost forgot to hit the like button. That's because Denny hasn't been on you.
Huh? Okay. So I almost wish I had 2 zip ties.
What am I
But
reminding
the
Ed?
idea is, what's they reminding me?
I know Scotty said whip. Remind Ed.
So what I've done
I don't know what
is
that
I've
means.
tried to make it so it'll stay under the lights, and I'm going to adjust the water so it's all flowing one direction, and hopefully it'll get stuck in one of the corners, but in the light, the opposite side of where the water is flowing.
I assume the giant sticks running through it are to keep it from overturning.
Getting too close to the walls of the tank.
Oh, I learned
Because
something.
the light doesn't go on this thing. The light is about this far from the edge. So I want to make sure it's got plenty of light,
Uh-oh.
but I'm also going to adjust it so all the water's flowing this way and it'll cycle, but hopefully it doesn't make it go in circles. If that's the case, I may have to do something like put a zip tie on it and put the zip tie hooked also, like the end of it up on, oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Put the zip tie hanging off the side here, so that way it won't be running across. And it will just keep it on this end of the tank. And we'll see if we get some roots.
Just to I don't know what Wendy said, but he says he knows he's not everyone's cup of tea, but that is not the case, sir. You are everyone's cup of tea. I don't know what you said that I missed, but oh, there it is. Reduce the floaters, cut down on your brand in your diet. Oh, he's been a funny guy.
I was gonna try
Oh,
a big
now
giant
we're
one.
talking. Now we're talking. You're pulling out the big gun.
You know what though? I want to make it so you guys can see what I'm doing.
Well, lower the camera, bozo.
I know, but I just got rid of my shelf. There we go.
Hey, Ed, we have anybody waiting backstage? Just in
No,
case?
sir.
Okay.
Okay,
Are
this
you
one.
sure? Did you look?
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than a vampire crab than floating garlic. We tried the the garlic joke earlier, and it didn't go over so well. Did Ed
Well, I
fix
don't want to
his
just put
camera?
one in
And
there.
am I supposed to remind him about baseball? Oh,
Oh,
we're probably not going
yes.
to talk about baseball tonight, but yes, I
Well,
got
I'll
the
mention it
email
real
tonight.
quick. Oh, okay. Those emails are from Yahoo, so you guys remind me to start the league. But
Oh,
we won't be able to start the league until we find 3 more people that would like to play in the auction league. It's really fun. It takes about 4 hours.
Jody needs more to do, and Killer Kitty loves baseball, and Zenny. Those are
Well,
we should get those 3 in, and we should play.
we already have one person from Houston now.
There's no garlic in baseball, Scotty.
But if you're interested in playing fantasy baseball or just doing a live auction draft, I don't know hardly anything about baseball, but I just love the live auction drafts are so much fun. I
Honestly,
bid on a guy that only played 2 weeks and he got hurt. I picked him up because his name's Trout. And I thought that would be cool to have a guy on my fish team named Trout.
Hey, he is a good player, but
well,
he's
he was
just
the
been
best in
getting hurt
baseball for a
lately.
long time, but
Yeah, Anaheim Angels.
yeah.
But this year he's going to play outfield to help him have more longevity. He said.
What position did he used to play? First base?
I
But
don't
Kitty,
remember.
that's the fun of it. I don't know crap about baseball either, but the draft was the best part of the whole thing, and then I just kind of let it go to. I think I came in last. Oh, look at you go!
So what I did
Yeah,
was I
house.
took one of these things from a plant, when you
Yep.
buy those plants with the steel wool or whatever that stuff's called.
Do you just
Well,
hold
I
on to it?
save all this stuff.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I just cut the hole, but I cut it at an angle. So it's like smaller on this side and bigger on this side. And maybe we start it kind of like this. But I was thinking maybe stick in like a whole, nope, not a whole one won't work, but a couple of them in there and see if we get more action with a group. Yeah, if anybody's interested in fantasy baseball, we would love to play with you. And
Not in a
let us
creepy
know.
way either.
Yeah, we do it a live draft, but it's live, but it
Uh-oh.
camera on. It's kind of like how we play D&D. We don't play it very often live anymore. So there we go. I put 5 of them in there with the root structures going down. What do you think, Dr. Anthony? Will this work?
I think it will.
Maybe. Yeah,
Oh.
I would make sure that you have no more than about a third of the bulb underwater.
See, I'm not for sure how deep. It may hardly go underwater at all
Well, that's
with this
fine.
float.
Going underwater it barely is better than going underwater all the way.
I'd put it on top of there, but I've already put stuff inside this tank or put stuff on top of the tank, so it's too hard to float it.
But
So,
is it?
you guys, you're just going to have to wait till next week and see what happens with that. But, Dr. Anthony, when you did your hydroponics, was it for growing plants or was it for plant structures for the fish to live in and to help,
No, these were
via filtration?
they were vertical hydroponic systems, and so the fish actually lived below the plant. So the roots were just getting rained on with a pump that was going to the top, and then it would trickle down over the roots.
Oh, cool. Jones, Gary Jones, is that his name? Greg Jones, the aquarium box guy. He has a lot of videos on his greenhouse, and he does a lot of, like, he grows lettuce, and he has like big floating trays. Like I have just individuals, but he would have a big tray with the lettuce in it.
Yep.
And I think he may have tried radishes and green beans. And then I think he had tomatoes growing up the sides of the walls. And maybe he was doing what you were doing with that. I don't know.
Well, you can, an easy way to do it if you have like a tub, growing things in a tub in a greenhouse, just cut some styrofoam, because those floating aquaponic mats are actually just styrofoam based.
And just grow it straight that way. And I guess I could even grow these in my my tubs, because I have tubs with spotlights or with lamps over them also.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I'll make a whole bunch of these and have garlic all over the place. I might just do a bunch of these big ones though, because I kind of like how the big one looks.
Yep.
Yep. So does anybody have any questions, or XDU is saying sports ball? Hopefully the baseball didn't sidetrack this from everything. But
Nah, you didn't dwell on it. It should be fine.
okay, well, John Cox says the mats aren't good to use in your tanks due to not getting enough air transfer to your fish.
Well, yeah.
So don't.
You
Yeah.
know, the ones that I used before, and we had these big 500-gallon tubs, would only cover half of the surface, so they were, you know, half pie shaped.
And Killer Kitty, when you were asking me the question, were you wanting to actually grow the food, or were you just thinking of the filtration benefits, or even the fry hide?
Well, I think she's talking about food because she want to know what other plants would you recommend growing. So, you know, any of your leafy vegetables would be good. You know, all the different types of lettuce we grew, you know, and it all grew great. You know, tomatoes take a little bit longer, but you can grow tomatoes, except they're going to be a little bit more leggy, so to speak. They don't grow as compact. The plant tends to grow much taller.
That's awesome. How about green beans? How does that grow? Because
Well,
that's a kind of like a little bush.
you're going to have a trellis for those.
Yeah, you'd have to have something because they'd probably end up flipping the styrofoam tray. My grandma Warmer, she was my great grandma Warmer. She used to make me pick green beans, and man, I hated it. I'd have to pick green beans, and then I'd have to snap them when I got done. So it's like I never got away from these damn green beans. And now I actually buy green beans sometimes to feed my fish.
Yep.
Right now I have frozen. I always try to keep a frozen vegetable in my freezer. Right now I have peas instead of green beans.
I just buy canned French cut green beans.
Now, see, I'm always afraid that there might be a lot of salt in those. Do they
Well,
say salted or non-salted?
I always get the unsalted, and plus I rinse it all before I use it, just in case, you know, just in case there's some chemical in there that, you know, you don't know about.
Sure, that makes sense. Whip, do you ever feed your fish any vegetables?
I used to feed my oh my goodness, my Silver Dollars romaine lettuce, but that's about as much veggie as I ever put in it.
Would garlic, or not garlic, spinach be good for those type of
Yeah.
fish?
In the old days, it was, you know, saltwater fish. They would say feed spinach. But what we found, and my wife asked a guy at the saltwater store, at the saltwater aquarium that we have at the aquarium in Peru, we feed the herbivores broccoli, and they go crazy after broccoli. The tangs, even the butterfly fish, just love the green of the broccoli.
Do they? Is it just the top of the tree, or do they eat the
No,
branches?
they just eat just the green part. Yep.
I guess once you break it off, it's kind of like pellets.
Oh, but you stick it on a fork and put it down at the bottom, because otherwise broccoli will float.
I also do zucchini too.
Yeah,
But what I hate about zucchini is it goes bad so
it
fast.
rots. Yes. Yep.
And I found out that you can get an extra few days out of your zucchini if you don't put it in the refrigerator. It rots quicker in the refrigerator. I
Probably
just
needs
learned
that
that like
air
a month
circulation.
ago. So strange. But yeah, I was like telling my dad, leave it out. Because he was trying to have other types of fish food than just his normal fish food. So I was
Mhm.
telling him zucchini will work. And then I got to have some of his zucchini and we were able to, dice it down more for, not as much waste.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Oh, there's JN Aquatics. Now, JN Aquatics is one of my fish stores that's my away from Chattanooga fish stores. They're in Paducah, Kansas, or Paducah. I do that every time. Paducah, Kentucky, and they're super awesome people. And Jeremy is starting a YouTube channel, and if somebody could pop a link to their channel and give them a sub, it'd be awesome for them to be able to get some. Boy, I do have a couple mods. That's good. For them to be able to get some like acknowledgement so people know
I,
about them.
I saw
But
him catching crickets today on his channel.
oh wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
what? Where was he catching crickets?
At his place, at the store,
Oh, that's awesome.
or a
Hey,
customer.
have you ever fed crickets to your butterfly fish? You know those upside down. Well, they're not
African,
really upside down, but
the African
Are they
butterfly. Yeah.
big enough to eat?
yeah,
Oh, you
Yeah.
have? I
it
didn't.
is
Hey,
so
Crocker.
awesome.
Yeah. The other day when I was talking to Skipper, his daughter kept on feeding the butterfly fish crickets, and he said, "You're enough already." He said, "Well, I like feeding them. I like feeding them the crickets."
I didn't think butterfly fish got big enough to eat a cricket. Aren't butterfly fish only about like that big?
The African butterfly, yeah, but they have a mouth that opens up really, really wide.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
they're
never had one.
cousins
So
to arowanas.
Yeah,
They have
they
the
have a
exact
huge
same
mouth.
mouth
Yeah,
structure as an arowana.
yep.
oh, are we talking about the
So,
butterfly or the upside down?
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Okay, yeah, I definitely haven't had one of those. Not
Yeah.
yes. For whatever reason in my head, I went those the upside down ones that kind of do the same.
That and four-eyed fish, anableps, because anableps, are also surface feeders, and they go
Mhm.
crazy after crickets.
I wanted to get,
it is fun.
and it's just in my own damn head. I could do it if I wanted to, but I was going to put them in this tank because this is my African tank, but it's Lake Tanganyika, and they don't live there. So I'm like, that's. I mean, I guess I could do it anyway,
Yeah,
but
I've got to find a new home for one of my fish, and I
how
love
come? How
him.
come? Is he
Oh, go
just
ahead.
in the way or what?
No, okay, I've got one of the big Synodontis. Oh gosh, a DUR, Dur- oh gosh, Duris
Let me look.
Synodontis.
You just
Yeah,
sent it to me.
I sent it to him. I said it earlier today,
Decorus.
but
Decorus.
Decorus,
Decorus.
something like that.
Yeah, that's how you
Uh,
spell it.
Synodontis. He's about a foot long. Yeah, and he's got like eyeballs like a frog because they're like off on the sides of his head, and he looks around. He's a real cool fish. And I was gonna put him on a little thing and play that during the show, but I think I might take him to one of my local fish stores, Fish Mania, because Fish Mania has like I think a 1,000-gallon tank. It's super long, and it's basically just for people that buy fish that are too big and stuff. And so I was thinking about asking Ethan if he'd like it after Whip said no. But he works great with cichlids because he's not overly aggressive. And I mean, like the red devil never bothered him. My Bisher never bothered him. Nobody ever bothered him. But I'd like to turn my 200 tall into a rainbow and Congo tank, uh, Congo tetras, and I'm pretty sure he'll eat anything that's about 2.5 inches or smaller. So my small Congos will be devoured. I was also thinking about putting Odessa barbs in there, and he would eat those guys up because they're only about 2 inches long. But I'd like to get my Odessa barbs in a bigger tank than what they're in. They're in a 20 long, and they really need to be in a much longer tank because they like to zip around. So I was just going to make it a great big community tank. And right now, all I have is this one giant catfish in there because all the cichlids I've moved out. So I've gotten them all new homes, but I just didn't want to give him up because I love him. I only see him I see him every day, but I only see his tail and his head because the tree is like 11 inches and his head and his tail hang out underneath the tree. They're like normal Synodontis. They really like dark spots, so if you
Yeah,
have a log or something, he's going to hide under it.
that's both
But
both mine do that too. I have well, I have the big cockatoo and the dwarf cockatoo, and I never see them. They're always in the rocks. They're
well,
in there right
I
now. I can sense them.
I feed him jumbo krill and pellets. He'll probably eat anything I drop on the bottom. I was dropping, even though I was dropping bloodworms in there, and I noticed the bloodworms were just sitting, so he wasn't eating the bloodworms. So I stopped dropping bloodworms in that tank. I didn't know that anything didn't like bloodworms.
So I want to
But yeah,
answer.
Dr. Anthony,
I want to answer a question from GRB.
You show me.
here, let me pop it up.
Do you often get large fish donations at the research center? No, large fish are eaten by the locals. There is a little aquarium trade and hobby going on, but it's primarily smaller fish. A few people keep marine tanks, but it's mostly, swordtails, guppies, barbs, things of that sort. Never large monster fish, because those are all food, food fish. Why would you keep them at home when you're going to eat them?
Does Peru, how does Peru work with imports on fish?
Yeah, you can import fish, because a lot of the fish stores are importing all the time in Lima.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Do they have any invasive fish problems?
and you know that question already. You know that answer.
Well, I was wondering if maybe Peru is more picky about that type of thing.
Uh,
I mean, even your discus are invasive.
yeah, the
If you would,
discus are invasive. So in parts of Peru, they have trout that are invasive,
oh,
rainbow trout. Um,
rainbow trout.
yeah, they are thought of as trash fish in a lot of areas. Believe it or
I'll
Really?
not.
need to start eating those.
Yeah, and of course the guppies, gouramis, and tilapia that we have in the Amazon. But yeah, there's a lot of invasive fish in Peru.
Wow, I didn't realize there were so many. I mean, I knew you had the animals,
Yep.
but I wasn't
Yeah,
for sure about that.
a lot of carp for sure, goldfish.
Oh yeah, I knew about goldfish. I think you
Yep.
said that about goldfish before. Um, do arapaima naturally exist there, or
Yeah. There's Arapima there in the Amazon where we're at. They're very rare now, and they have taken Arapima and transplanted them in other parts of the Amazon where they don't belong.
is that to keep them alive, or is it?
To make a fisheries for the people.
Yeah, because they're huge as far as well, they're huge, but
Yeah.
they're also big in the fish in the food trade, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of in Iquitos. There's a bunch of um, Arapima farms that are
oh,
used
okay.
food fish purposes.
Mhm.
And in fact, in many cases, it's cheaper for the exporters to import baby Arapima from Southeast Asia and then resell them than to buy them off the fish farms, because the fish farms are wanting them to grow up to be 4, 5, 6 foot long fish.
How is okay? They're a giant fish. Are they
Yep.
a slow grower or a quick grower?
They're
I think,
relatively slow.
but they're fast
Okay.
in the first couple years, right? I mean,
Well,
like a lot of fish.
we have a 1-year-old. Renee, how old is that Arapima? We have 1 or 2 years now.
Oh, it's 1 year and 2 months.
1 year. We have one in our aquarium that's 1 year, 2 months old, and it's a good 2.5 feet long now. So they're fast, but they're not that fast.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of like the wicked part of the trade is you want to have a fish that people will eat, but also they can grow quick.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Right. Well, that's why
I mean, if they're
tilapia is
delicious,
crazy popular, because I mean they're so fast in breeding.
Yeah, tilapia grow fast, and they can grow in any water condition you got.
Right, and they're prolific. I mean, they just that you have one, and the next thing you know, you have 17 of them, and then you have 150.
Yep.
would trout's probably a quick grower.
No, because they're in cold water, they're relatively slow growing.
I was trying to remember. I used to go to the trout farms quite a bit down in Missouri, but I can't remember what they had on the dates on each, because they'd have these giant, concrete pylons of them, and they would have them marked into months, and they just kept slowly moving them down until they were big enough, and they'd release them into the river.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool. But you know what? We've got 3 minutes before Whip show starts. Whip, are you going to go tonight?
Yeah, I just put it in private chat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if
Yeah,
I can.
I mean, I literally, as you were asking that, I put it in there.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do copy link. Let's see if I can actually do this myself. And now I'm going to hit paste. Damn. So, guys, we'll either pick up this conversation in Whip's channel, or maybe we'll talk about something else if Whip wants to do whatever he wants to do. And thank you, Dr. Anthony, for coming on and hanging out with us. And Whip, thank you for coming. All the mods.
Ed, you
let the man talk.
Pasted how to be in his stream.
Never mind. I thought you were pasting your... I thought you were doing a link for your show, so people can go to the show. Well, if you want to go talk to us in person, ask a question live on Whip Show. Maybe you can come up for 3 minutes, and we'll go to the next guy.
That's right. Hey, man,
all your fish questions.
It's a brand new world, man. We can do that if we want.
We could. Thank you so much, Monster. Oh gosh. Well, mod, you guys are amazing. You can tell that I suck at being a mod. I was so proud of myself, Dr. Anthony. I copy and pasted. But everybody, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. We're going to watch this. Hopefully we'll see some growth out of these guys in a week or two. If not, it'll be another 8 weeks, and we'll pull this one out of the refrigerator and try it again. But let's all head over to Whips. Bye. Oh, whoops, I gotta do my thing. There we go. Bye.